previews. We got Miami of Ohio 1-3 taking on Northern Illinois 1-3. Great matchup. We got Chuck Martin versus Thomas Hammock. And I think when you look at some of these MAC teams, some of these teams be about to smoke. They be like, hey, the resources aren't plentiful here in Oxford, right? So let's go ahead and play some of these bigger name teams, right? And get that check and take that check to use it for future resources, whether that's, getting new players there or upgrading your facilities to make those resources appear to be more plentiful, right? So let's talk about Northern Illinois side of thing, right? They struggled a lot on offense this year. Like, make no mistake about it, they're ranking at the bottom of the FBS in most offensive categories. I did see them play this year. I saw them play versus Maryland. Their defense did look pretty good. Maryland's offenses, they look bad. That was probably their worst game that they played this year. Like I said, I was at that game. We'll be at the game this weekend, them versus Washington. But 251 total yards. That's 135th in the country. How many teams is there in the FBS? Are there in the FBS? There's 136. They're second to last. 10 points per game. Last in the country. The Huskies average fewer than 100 passing yards per contest. That's 99.8. And guess where that's at? 134th. While leaning on their run game, 151 rushing yards per game, which is 79th in the country. About middle of the road. That's actually not too shabby. And when I was at the Maryland game, their running back did break for a long running back there. But, this offense needs consistency. It needs a lot of consistency. Quarterback Josh Holst has thrown for only 376 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Running back Telly Johnson Jr. leads the ground attack. He got 252 yards and 1 score. Receiver De'Ari Rogers has been a top target with 224 yards and a touchdown on the season. Now, when we think about Northern Illinois, I started to think about their defense. Their defense is playing outstanding. I told you guys. And both of these teams, I said respectfully, have scheduled difficult non-con schedules. That's how you get in money, right? When you start to understand this college football thing, at its purest point, you start to see how a lot of it adds up, right? Defense is playing pretty good. They're only allowing 20.3 points per game. That's 49th in the country. But when you look at it, hey, it's 68 power, 4 schools, and then another 68 group of 5 schools. So the fact that they're 49th in the nation, they're doing an outstanding job. And then you consider the fact that, they played some really good teams. I believe it was NIU who had a game versus San Diego State, and the final was 6-3. They're playing outstanding defense, bro. It's frustrating. Against the pass, they're 28th in the nation. They're only allowing 28 yards per game in the pass. They've been tough in the red zone as well. They're 54th nationally. But, continue to get dragged now by one of the worst third down percentages, in the country at 27.9%. That's 130th. So it's any area for improvement for them. This is definitely the area. And I talked about that 6-3 loss to San Diego State. That is embarrassing. That is absolutely embarrassing, that type of score. Now, back in the day, if you're a purist and you watching the Pittsburgh Steelers, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about Cowher days, Bill Cowher days, right? You could probably see something like a 10-6 game, and you'd be like, it's a purist game. This is the way that Bill Cowher likes to play football. But 6-3 at the collegiate level is an issue. And I think it's something to say about San Diego State's defense too, because even though we're not talking about them right now, but I think they held Cal to no points, held Northern Illinois to 3 points. So defense, much to improve upon. But I wonder, right, with Thomas Hammock idea of how he's going to fix this team offensively, because it is not good. They've played poor. They're one-dimensional. They got to be able to find a way to pass the rock, whether that's a new offensive coordinator, whether that's, find different ways to get Josh Holst going earlier, whether that's playing the success rate game and instead of running the pass, passing the run. They have to figure something out. This offense has been bad, but it should improve now that we're getting into MAC play. It should definitely improve now we're getting into MAC play. So let's talk about Miami of Ohio a little bit. Chuck Martin, a guy that I respect. RedHawks, we are really close with the RedHawks family. They've always shown our company love. One of the earliest teams to credential us, and I'll never, forget them for that. So they've been slightly more balanced, but still inconsistent offensively. But they've been playing, really good teams. They average 338 yards total. That's 110th in the country. Still much better than what Northern Illinois is doing, at 23.3 points per game. Quarterback DeQuan Finn should be a name that you guys know. It's crazy sometimes what happened to people. You see them have success, and you see them go somewhere. He ends up going to Baylor and ends up, Sawyer Robertson is there, and Sawyer Robertson ends up playing outstanding. So now he's here. I thought he would have more of an impact that he's had now, but through MAC play, he should be better. He's thrown for 465 yards on the season, 2 touchdowns, and he's just got to stop throwing these daggone interceptions. I know what I wanted to say, but he's got 4 interceptions on the season. Kenny Tracy, he's been okay. 266 yards and a touchdown. Kamryn Perry is the guy. He's really a big play threat and a guy that DeQuan Finn likes to go to a lot. Got 352 yards and 2 touchdowns on just 12 receptions, right? And then defensively, the RedHawks, they're like middle of the road, 69th in the country as it pertains to yardage. They're allowing 358 yards per game, also allowing 25.8 points per game, which is 80th in the country. So I think we could possibly get a really good defensive game here. Now, if it, ends up being a game where both defenses aren't playing top tier like they have been, I trust Miami of Ohio's offense more. I know DeQuan Finn will definitely be able to make more plays from the quarterback position than Josh Holst will be able to make, right? So, plagued by penalties. If your team is penalized a lot and they're in the lower quarter of teams, as it pertains to penalties, 115th, that says a lot about you, Coach Chuck Martin. Why are you allowing this to happen? 70 yards per game in penalties is abysmal. We have to correct that, right? They're scoring on just 66.7% of trips. They show promise. We did see the 38-0 win over Lindenwood, where, backup quarterback Henry Henson threw for 208 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tracy ran for another 134 yards. So I think this is a game where both offenses are looking to get it going. They said, hey, defensively, we're sound. The other team we're facing offensively is decent at best. Like, I do trust Miami of Ohio more than I trust Northern Illinois, like I said a little bit earlier. But if I'm a coach, I'm really want to go get my offense going. This is MAC play. We all know about MACtion. I think this is going to be a really good game. We know Miami of Ohio is 1-3, NIU is 1-3, but I think sometimes those numbers can be misleading. And we can see both of these teams at the end of the season with 7 wins, right? And you be like, dang, I remember when they was 1-3, or even 8 wins if they can, find a way to pull it together down the stretch. Give me Miami of Ohio in this game, only because I do not trust Josh Holst in the NIU's offense at all. They got a strong running game, but I'm loading the box. And if Josh Holst beats me and he throws for 250 yards, what they're going to say? I need to get that sound in here. Whoop-dee-doo. You know what I'm saying? So give me Miami of Ohio in this game. I think this is a really sharp matchup. 2 teams that really need wins. So G5 Governor, I do, even though that's that's the MAC. I got the American shirt on, man. Y'all know how I get down. So let's talk about a big game that we have at Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee this upcoming weekend.